Something good just happened last week. Not huge, not life changing, just something that was supposed to not work, worked. A small thing I'd been quietly trying to get right finally did. And for about an hour, I felt it, that specific warmth of something clicking into place. And then it was gone. Not because anything bad happened, not because I talked myself out of it or someone else said something that deflated it, just my brain moved on automatically, like it had already filed the win somewhere and opened the next problem before I even noticed the transition. And I sat there a bit confused because I kept thinking, I feel something longer than this? Shouldn't this land somewhere and stay for a while? But it didn't. It barely touched down before I was already somewhere else. I think somewhere along the way I taught myself to do this. Not on purpose, but I built a version of discipline that doesn't really have a pause button. And for a long time, that felt like a strength. The ability to not get attached to results, to stay level, to not get too high or too low, just keep moving. And I still think there's something real in that. Getting euphoric over every small thing is probably not sustainable either, but I'm starting to notice the cost of other extremes where nothing quite lands, where the good things happen and you acknowledge them for a moment and then immediately orient yourself toward the next gap, the next problem, the next thing that isn't done yet. It starts to feel like you're running on the track that has no finish line built into it, just more track. And at some point, you have to ask, if nothing gets to feel like enough, even temporarily, what exactly are you even doing this for? The uncomfortable thing I've realized that rest makes me anxious now. Not physical rest. I sleep fine, I recover, but mental rest, the permission to just sit with something good without immediately converting it into fuel for the next thing, that almost feels dangerous to me. Like, if I stop moving, even briefly, something will slip, some edge will dull, some version of the person I'm trying to build will soften in a way that's hard to recover from. And I know that sounds irrational when I say it out loud. One afternoon of actually feeling good about something is not going to destroy everything, but the anxiety is real, even when the logic isn't. And I think it comes from somewhere specific, from building a relationship with discipline that is entirely about building between where you are and where you want to be. So the gap is always the focus, the gap is always what's real, and the wins are just brief interruptions that in the gap before it reappears slightly smaller. I was talking to myself about this the way you do internally late at night, and something became clear that I hadn't put into words before. I don't actually know what celebrating a small win looks for me. And I mean that practically, not philosophically, like if something goes right today, what do I actually do? What does it look like to receive that and let it be real for more than an hour? Because obvious answers don't feel right. Taking the day off for feels disappropriate for a small win. Telling people feels strange because then I have to explain the context of something they don't fully understand. Just sitting with the quietly sounds right in the theory, but in practice, my brain treats silence as an invitation to problem solve. So I end up in this strange place where the win happened, I know it happened, and I just move because I don't have a ritual for staying, for letting good things accumulate in a way that actually registers. I think the part of this is an age thing or maybe a phase thing. When you're early in building something really early, like I am, there's so much distance between where you are and where you want to be that no individual win feels appropriate to the vision. The vision is enormous, the wins are small, and the brain is constantly doing the math and coming back with yes, but you still have to go far. so the win gets minimized, not consciously, just by comparison. First client is a win, but if the goal is business that changes your life, one client feels like a fraction of a fraction, and your brain files it accordingly. But I think the math is wrong, or at least incomplete, because the small wins aren't the steps toward the big thing. They are also evidence that you are capable, that the direction is real, that the work is doing something. And if you don't let that evidence actually land, if you just process it and move on, you start building without any internal proof that any of it is working. And building without proof is just grinding, and grinding without acknowledgement becomes very quiet and very heavy very fast. I have been trying something small recently. When something goes right, even minor, I try to just stop for a few minutes. Not celebrate loudly, not mark it dramatically, just stop, let it exist. Actually say it to myself clearly: that worked, you did that. That is real, and it feels almost uncomfortable to do. Like being indulgent, like I'm wasting time that could be used for something next. But I keep doing it because I think discomfort is the point. If the rest feels indulgent, that's information. If acknowledgement something good feels wasteful, that's a pattern worth interrupting. Not because you need to become someone who celebrates constantly, but because a life that never stops to register its own progress is a life being lived entirely in a deficit. And I don't want to build an entire future running on deficit. That's not the discipline. That's just punishment with a better branding. I still fully don't know how to do this. The small wins still slip by faster than I'd like. The brain still moves on before I've finished feeling the thing. The gap still opens up almost immediately after anything closes. But I am at least aware of it now, which is different from before when it just happened automatically and I called it focus. It's not focus, it's avoidance of a different kind. Avoiding something is stillness, avoiding the discomfort of sitting inside something good without converting it into something useful, or maybe that's the next thing to actually work on. Not the business, not the habits, not the output, just learning to receive the small things, learning to let them be real before they become history. Because I can't do that now when the stakes are small, and if wins are modest, I don't know how I'm going to do it later when everything is bigger and there's even more reason to just keep moving. The pause matters, even a small one, maybe especially a small one.